let's first go through this session overview. So we will first go through the what is Frontend and what is all about it and how we can develop it, build it, and those things. And then we will discuss about the responsive design and then single page applications and React and best practices, and we will develop a small application and connect it with the GitHub, and we will do a production deployment and host so that we can access our application, the public URL. Okay, so first things first. So what is front-end development? So front-end is the user interface where the users interact with our application. So that's the main layer. Like user first come and see the front end or the interface, and then started to interact with the application. So we have a lot of responsibilities to build these interfaces. So uh, like perfectly handle these interactions because user mainly depend on those things. Okay, so it involves HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and HTML is responsible for layout and the structure, and CSS we can use for styling and designing, and interactivity and logics handled by the JavaScript, and it runs in the browser. Uh, that's a brief about the front-end development, and I think you all are familiar with these basic things. But let's fine-tune these things again as a start. So this is the difference between backend and frontend. Like frontend is responsible for user interaction and the layout. It is built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it runs in the browser, handles the UI, UX, animations, and everything. These are the examples like forms, buttons, those things. And when it comes to backend, it's responsible for the things happening behind the scene. And these are few popular backend languages like Node, Python, PHP, and it runs on the server. It handles the API logics, databases, those things, and these are examples like storing the data, login validations. But again, login validations can be related to both front end and back end. Okay, now what is the responsive design? Responsive design means the website adapts to different screen sizes. For example, what we see in the desktop is not the view what we see in the mobile view. So we should build it that will work for every screen size. Uh, it should have great experience on phones, tablets, laptops, desktops, everything. And to achieve these things, we use like media queries in CSS, flexible layouts like Flexbox, Grid, and we use relative units like REM and VW. So this everything is related to CSS. Nowadays we have libraries like Tailwind, Bootstrap, or Material UI, anything. So but everything is built on these basic concepts, so it's important to know these basic concepts. This is an example, a responsive design. As you can see, we should the interface should work for every device, basically iPads, or tablets, mobiles, laptops, everything. So we have a different look and feel and structure for every screen. Okay, now the single page application. So previously our like multi-page applications, but when we introduce the single page applications, it's become like very popular because it's managed the updates and handle this dynamic content without reloading the page. Like you have used multi-page applications. When you go to another page or do something, you can see the page is reloading. But single page applications means like the name says that all. It's a single page. So it does not need to reload to do something. or like to go a different page or anything, we manage everything in that single page. These are popular frameworks like React, Vue, Angular, and it has a huge performance increase. So it has a lot of performance and a good user experience. So, and we use client side routing. For example, if we take React, we use React router to navigate through the components or pages. Likewise, so the main thing is in single page application, the page will not preload. Behind the scene, it's the content will adjust and you can see the updates in real time very fast. So that's about single page applications. Now React. So React is JavaScript library. We can build user interfaces, and it's developed by Facebook. So we regularly use to build single page applications. So React is all about components. Uh, the main concept is we should split our codes. We should have our own small components, and all together we connect everything at a place, and so then finally we will render that main component into a HTML page. So React is everything about components, and then React is using a special concept called virtual DOM. So I will explain about virtual DOM in the next slide. Okay, key features of React. So as I explained, React is component based, and it breaks UI into reusable self-contained pieces like smaller components. And then the virtual DOM. It helps to update the DOM manipulations. So like it does like batch updates, not like real DOM manipulations, because real DOM manipulations are very expensive and it takes a lot of time. So because of this virtual DOM, we have a better performance in React. So we can go through virtual DOM deeper in the next few slides. And React is about one-way data binding. Normally the data flow is from parent to child, but anyway we can pass data from children to parent as well. So we can learn about that as well. And then the state management. If you are familiar with React, you should already familiar with these words like state, use reducer, use effect. These are hooks. Like we can manage the state with these hooks. And there is also a concept like set state, those things in class components. So we can learn about that as well. And then the declarative syntax, we should tell we need to like tell React to what it should look like, and then React handles the rest. Okay, now the virtual DOM. So this is the main concept React is following. Like the virtual DOM is a concept where it keeps a copy of a real DOM, and it computes a difference, that virtual DOM, with the old virtual DOM and new virtual DOM. Only the changes or different, like it computes the difference and then it re-render only the changes. So for example, if we have some changes in this state, so we have already a virtual DOM. Like as I told you, React keeps a copy of a real DOM, that's the virtual DOM. And if there is some update, React creates a new virtual DOM and then compare that old virtual DOM with new virtual DOM. So then we can get the difference. Only this difference will apply to this virtual DOM as badge updates. So React is not dealing with this real DOM like real DOM. So in real DOM, it's very expensive because they are like doing these DOM updates at once. But it's in React, it's not like that. So they are keeping virtual DOMs, a copy of real DOM. Then it compares. This compare process we are calling reconciliation, and they are following an algorithm called diffing to compute this difference between the old virtual DOM and new virtual DOM. So that's the main thing they are following. Because of this reason, the React has a better performance than a regular applications. And okay, now we can go to the React core concept. So when it comes to React, as I explained, they are following the virtual DOM concept, and then we have functional components and class components. But nowadays, class components are outdated in the industry, so we are like mostly 99% we are using functional components and JavaScript. JSX means JavaScript XML or TypeScript XML. We can use both. So the thing is, we can write like HTML kind of a thing inside the JavaScript. In regular HTML, we write JavaScript inside a page. But when it comes to React, we write HTML kind of language in JavaScript code, JavaScript component. So this is called JSX, JavaScript and XML. But the thing is, the browser cannot understand this language. Most of the people I think like the browser can understand this JSX, but it's not the case. There is a tool called Babel. So through Babel, this JavaScript and XML will convert into JavaScript, and JavaScript runs on the browser. The browser can only understand the JavaScript, not anything else. So you should keep that in mind. And then props and states. So I think for every React interview, these questions will ask like, what is props, what is state? So props are read-only data that we pass from a component to another component. If we are passing data from component to component, so those are props. We can't change. Only read-only. We can use as read-only data. And the state is the component internal state. So it's changed over the time, and we can use the state. We can use this state to manage our actions inside that component. So state means the data inside the component. Props are data passing from outside that component. And to manage this state, we can use state in functional components. It's a hook. So today we are mainly focusing about functional components. As I explained, the class components are a bit outdated now. In class components also, we can use set state, like this dot set state. Likewise, there were some methods, but today we will use functional components. And then the lifecycle method. So there is a concept called lifecycle. For each component, we have a lifecycle. For example, when a component get mounted on the DOM, and when we do some update on that component, and when that component get destroyed on the DOM. So for every these phases, like updating, mounting, unmounting, for every of these phases, we have lifecycle methods. Component did mount. So these concepts, these methods were in the class components. Component did mount, component did updated, should component update, or component will unmount. Likewise, there were some methods in class components. In functional components, we use hooks to achieve these lifecycle methods. So I will explain them when we are coding. For now, remember the use effect hook is used to handle these lifecycle methods. So we have to use, for example, if we need to do something, if a component update, we should use effect too. So you will get, you will understand when we code. Okay, so we can go to the, we can build that small application now. So we are going to build this kind of interface. You guys also can try with me. So I will explain this step by step. So today we will build a small application, a small interface with React and Vite. Uh, Here we will get some data, post images and titles from external public API. And so we will use that data. We will get that data from API call and display that data like this for different screens in different structure or different view. For a desktop or laptop views, we will like show like this left side view, like we will show 3 images in a row, and then for iPads and all, we will show 2 images per row, and for mobile view, we will display in stack order. Likewise, we can display uh, those images. If we have time, we will do some actions also to check the user interaction of each image or each post. Okay, so we are going to use Vite. Nowadays, you know, it's very popular, lightweight, and we have the HMR support, hot module replacement. It automatically reloads when we do changes. And also, it's faster than CRA, Create React App. I think you already know it's deprecated in recent past. So we can use Vite today, and we need this prerequisite. Like I hope you already got the message. You should have the not latest versions and npm. Better to have VS Code or any other code editor. And I hope you already got GitHub accounts. Okay, so let's start coding.